are starting the NFL season here. Week 1, we're going to be kind of getting back to our normal podcast here, and I guess speaking of normal podcast, welcome to Pulse the Heartland here. Joey, you want to go over the socials real quick?
I sure can. Twitter and Instagram. Hit us up on at Heartland Pulse. As always, search Facebook, Pulse of the Heartland, and YouTube do the same. If you're watching us live on YouTube, make sure to go ahead and let all your friends know what they're missing out on. Want to give our buddy here, Homer Bryant, a shout out. Got him to Bleacher Report with a great tweet during the Oregon-Georgia game. And as everyone knows, we have the best takes. We make the best predictions. We give you the best advice, whether it's smoking meat or picking sports stuff. So, let all your friends know, like, subscribe, and tune into all our stuff.
And if you did join us, we appreciate it. Mm-hmm. So, Joey, what you drinking over there?
It's been a busy week by the smoker and everything, so I just got a couple 30 packs of Busch Light and finishing up the second one.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Clark?
Gatorade.
I'd make fun of you, but I'm drinking water, so I'm being kind of lame as well.
H2O. I've got one of these high noons that I've never tried before. I didn't want to drink a beer. I just didn't feel like it right now. So this one's the pineapple.
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
I've never had a high noon. They were in my fridge from I don't know how long. Probably about as long as my wedding beers. So
yeah.
Clark, when was the last time you bought alcohol?
My wedding. I bought. I looked like I had probably 30 cases of beer. I had an open bar, and I took 3/4 of it home. So
damn. All right.
Nice.
I sent trash bags full home with a couple of the groomsmen, and I'm still drinking on what I had left. So
hell yeah. Well, I mean that's always good. You buy it for one big occasion, and now you just got a bunch left over.
Yeah, that's where all the Templeton was from too. I bought a case of Templeton.
Nice.
I've got one bottle left. One bottle.
Oh yeah,
Ooh.
Ryan, what you drinking on?
So I'm going to your guys' part of the woods. I've got Okoboji Westo Cocoa.
Ooh.
Westo's they got some pretty good beers up there.
I've had one so far, and the last time I had one, I was like very. It's got a good pour there. My allergies were just terrible that night, so I'm hoping I'm not allergic to it. This is test number 2.
Nice.
What you got? Let's see.
That's good.
Joey, you kind of mentioned you were on the smoker this weekend. What'd you all smoke?
Oh man, I did a whole bunch of stuff. So Friday night got in real late. I was planning on doing a pork loin or something that night, but I didn't get in until about 10. So Saturday I bought steaks and potatoes. Did those on the grill on the smoker. That was pretty simple and easy. And then Sunday did hot dogs and burgers, but before that I did shredded beef. We had a little get together with Rochelle's mom and her stepdad today, so we had lunch. I did shredded beef and then made some smoked mac and cheese this morning. Also did breakfast on the smoker. It was just a little bit of everything the last few days. So it was a good weekend. I love any weekend that I can spend by my smoker, and then when it's a long weekend, you got the first weekend of football going on. That's even better. It's just to me, it might as well just be a national holiday.
Did you even turn the smoker off at all, or did you just let it run through the whole weekend, man?
It burned itself out a little yesterday, so I had to clean out the ash pot, but everything else was good. But I did turn it off, unfortunately.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's pretty awesome. It finally is that kind of where it's not super fucking hot, where you don't want to be over that smoker the whole time. So
right, exactly. Yeah, that's what I did. And then next weekend, I leave for Vegas Sunday night, and I don't get in till late Friday. So even with the Cyhawk game, I don't know if I'm going to have a party or anything. We may be pouring concrete Saturday morning, so I need to get that shit over with quick. But afterwards, I may just do. I've been seeing a lot of those shotgun shell things on Instagram and Facebook and all that stuff. So I may try some of those, or I may just do some jalapeno poppers and go from there. There's also a UFC, so might need to make a long smoke for that whole day.
Mm-hmm. Something to enjoy at the end of the day there. Trent just mentioned in chat that not to forget he made his cornbread. So I'm
Oh,
saying
that's
we're
right.
all kind of. I would say that's definitely. Well, you made bread on the smoker too.
Oh God, yeah, I completely forgot the bread we made. I still have some. Rochelle just had a bunch of dough that she was at last minute came over Saturday with her daughter and their dog, and she's like, "Do you have a way that we could do that in the oven?" I was like, "I have the smoker running. Might as well just throw it on there and try it." And that's what we did.
Mhm.
It turned out well.
Could you actually taste the smoky flavor in the bread?
I don't know. I've never. This was a new recipe she had, so I don't know how much you were supposed to taste it. Yeah, it was pretty damn dense, so it was good. It was more like a Parmesan herb flavor, so I don't know how much smoke flavor actually got in it, but it was good regardless.
Nice. What about you two? Did you guys do any smoking or anything this weekend?
No,
Nothing
we're gonna
special?
do pork chops on Wednesday, but not at the moment anything.
Nice. Well, speaking of smoke, I was surprised, Clark, you called it. KU didn't get smoked this weekend. They actually smoked someone else.
Woo, was that a barn burner, baby?
That was.
Mhm.
I was a little shocked at how well we knew we had to call it when they're going to win this time, but holy shit, I didn't expect them to win by that much. Leopold's actually got them playing well.
Yeah, look good.
So,
Had that offense rolling.
Yeah.
Them Hawkeyes don't know what that is, but
I was going to say, don't ask Joey what an offense is.
I'll dive into it more on Thursday's podcast when we dive into
Yeah.
our college football stuff. But I'm very disappointed. I don't think our offense got any better whatsoever. And I have a whole new scheme for Brian Ferentz if he would just fucking listen to me. But I'll go into it then.
Oh yeah, a little teaser for Thursday, but
Mhm.
yeah,
I will
that
give
one,
you this. It doesn't involve a quarterback.
it doesn't. The bet for the Iowa game, the best headline I saw said Iowa victory, but it took the O's out of there because there was no O on Saturday. That was
Mhm.
probably the best one that I saw.
Yeah, I mean, like I told you guys were just going on in the group chat, and I wasn't pissed at all at you guys. It's just I'm glad I had it on mute because for my own sanity, it just made the game. It would have made the game just unbearable. It was already fucking hard to watch anyway. So yeah, and the hate was definitely warranted. So yeah.
Mhm. Well, it wasn't more hate. It was just kind of joke, like because the joke is always Iowa's offense is terrible, and like, well, they're bringing in a bunch of starters, and they'll be right. They'll be better than last year, which was atrocious, and then this year just. You also have one of the Williams that was a returning running back. So I mean, being out one of your main running backs, that kind of hurt you a little bit, I think.
Yeah, and two of the 6 scholarship wide receivers we had sat out the game for some reason, and then 2 more were injured. So we only had 2 scholarship receivers playing in the game.
Oh, really?
Not to make excuses, because he still had fucking Sam Laporta, and our running game was supposedly better. The tight end was just non-existent. Peters couldn't hit me if I was standing 2 feet from him. Like he just was not good. No reason to go dive into it now. I'll have more analysis and pretty funny, stupid fucking stats on our Thursday night podcast.
That was, I mean, the national media is all over. Yeah, we'll definitely bring out some just amazing stats that you go, surely they can't be real, but yeah, we'll break them out on Thursday when we go live here. And then, Ryan, do we want to touch on the Tigers a little bit, or are we just going to glance or skip over that?
So I'll be honest with you guys. After the funny thing is after the dropped punt, the second one at the end there, I just turned the TV off. I was like, screw this, done. I get back and I go upstairs and go talk to Beck, and I look on Twitter and it's like, what the hell happened here?
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
apparently it was a lot more exciting than what I thought it was at the end. I don't know how they got the ball back, how they scored, and how they had the ability to have a block field goal. But the funny thing is the special teams coordinator is the only one that came to LSU with BK, and their special teams don't know what they're doing. They had 2 blocked field goals. They had 2 drop punts. Same player dropping the punts. So that's got to be figured out. their All-American wide receiver, Booty, whatever, Booty, I think he goes. He didn't even look like he wanted to be there. There was one pass that got thrown to him in the end zone, and he didn't even look for the ball. And the rest of the time, he just looked pretty disinterested in the game. So that's got to. I don't know what that's about. My my prediction for 10 wins is going to be very tough to get to this year. I know from what I see, and their defense just didn't look good. If LSU used to be DBU, and I don't, it didn't look good. So we'll see. I think I don't know who we play next. Sure, it's some easy out of conference game, and we'll see.
No, Southern is Nebraska. I'm not sure who it is, but no, I would say speaking of Booty, one of my points we'll talk about on Thursday as well. After the game, he completely deleted everything off of social media. Doesn't follow LSU. There's a couple of wide receivers that did that.
So after the game, apparently there were a bunch of death threats to them.
But it wasn't Booty that was the one that fumbled, was he? Fumbled the
both of them. I guess a lot of the team had death threats at them. So nothing says diehard fan like I'm gonna kill you, bitches.
Yeah, that's getting a little too extreme, I guess. But
even Nebraska doesn't do that.
We had this discussion last year. I don't understand how you can't separate life from football and entertainment. It's not that important in life in the grand scheme of things. So I'm an LSU alum, and so you think I'd be like, God damn it. It's just football, guys. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, we get it. It's SEC. It means more, but holy shit. Like, let's just settle down. Yeah,
it says bring out the pitchforks and some fire, quite like a Twitter death threat, right?
Right.
Yeah. So, Trent's not here. Otherwise, I mean, Decker, Iowa State won 42-10. They did what they needed to. It was good not to have a game that we didn't have to sweat out, which makes me feel better. Campbell, the big thing that he always struggles with is games early on in the season going way too vanilla and not pushing hard enough. This game, he did exactly what he needed to. They were aggressive on offense, and they didn't let the pedal off the metal. So, I mean, nothing really to talk about. It was it's the cheap give me win, getting ready for Cyhawk this week. But I don't know. I really think that as terrible as Iowa's offense looked, I think it's going to be a 180 difference. I guarantee on Saturday both teams are putting up some points. So,
man, you think so?
It can't be worse, Joey. That's for sure.
I mean, yeah, it can't be worse. I don't know. I don't need to dwell on this anymore. It's just going to ruin the start to my week. But yeah, I just can't see Iowa putting up points against anybody. That whole thing was anemic. So hopefully there's a few pick sixes for Iowa and they still end up winning by 14.
As long as their offense doesn't become a liability, I think you're fine.
Yeah. Yeah, if they ever get into the turnovers, that's when you're going to have an issue. But, yeah. We'll go that way. Oh, go ahead.
We are one good defense away from turning the ball over multiple times in that game. South Dakota State, I mean, granted, they are a good defense, but not Division V good defense. And multiple times Peaches threw it, and it went through guys' hands on that defense. Like it was terrible. I haven't seen a quarterback play that bad.
Does Iowa have a backup quarterback that could replace him?
Padilla has more mobility, and he can throw on the run better. I still don't know if it's the scheme or if it's the quarterback play. The quarterback play was very bad. But Petrus looked last year more than capable of making some throws, and somehow he doesn't this year. And he's a year older, and the offense should have had more time to gel. I don't know. We'll see. But no, to answer your question shortly, no, they don't.
Did you say Padilla? Padilla?
Yeah, Padilla.
Didn't he play in their bowl game last year?
Yep, they split time.
Yeah.
Okay. And fans were calling for him at halftime, and Kirk didn't put him in.
Now, is that Kirk's decision or is that Brian's decision on something like that? Do you even know?
There's no decision that's not Kirk's. He's got his hand so far up his son's ass that it doesn't matter. Yep. He had it with the guy that came from Texas, and then Ken O'Keefe when he was the offensive coordinator. That's why O'Keefe left that just able to have more control. And that was just go to a quarterback room for the Miami Dolphins. Like, yeah, Kirk just has total control over everything with that whole team.
Yeah. I guess when you have 24 years of tenure, you get to be able to do whatever the hell you want, I suppose. So, but yeah, I would say that'll be this weekend. We'll break it down a little bit more in depth. What each team has to do to win, stuff like that on Thursday, and it'll be the same time. We're going to try and do these live recordings closer to like 8:30, maybe earlier, just to kind of get more of a routine. So, but kind of I would say kind of the big thing we wanted to talk about when we finally got here, NFL Week 1 here. So. I would say season's going to start out this year on Thursday. The Bills are going to be at the Rams. Bills are 2.5-point favorites actually on the road versus the Rams. Then kind of the other, honestly, I just put our 3 favorite teams in there. If there's a team that you want us to talk about, put it in the chat and we can talk about it briefly as well. But Sunday we got the Saints are 5.5-point favorites at Falcons. Chiefs are 4.5 favorites at the Cardinals. And then Packers are actually a 1.5-point favorite at the Vikings here. So, honestly, I guess let's just start with Thursday. How you boys feeling about that game?
Rams.
An exciting one. You think the Rams, huh?
Yep.
I picked the Rams for – no, I didn't. I picked the Bucs for my Super Bowl. I don't know. If it lives up to that Chiefs-Rams game from a few years ago or the Chiefs-Bills game, basically, if either team can replicate the Chiefs, I think the other team will be, it'll be a great game either way.
Yeah. Why are you choosing the Rams over the Bills?
They're at home.
They're at home? All right.
Yep.
Defending Super Bowl champs. You don't think they got a target on their back?
I mean, Aaron Donald's going to come out, probably kill about 3 people. That's just going to kill the morale of the Bills.
Literally kill it, yeah.
Yeah. That's my
How many
prediction.
helmets does he have?
Approximately 3 homicides by the end of 4. Yep.
That's a hot take we got there. I know that much.
Did you give the line for that one, Bryant?
What's that?
Did you give the line for that one? I might have missed it.
The Bills?
Yeah,
-2.
Yeah,
-2. -2.5 Bills, yeah.
Okay. Thanks. I just missed that one. Yeah, I think the Bills, I don't know. I just think it's going to be a great game. Usually the first Thursday night game is going to be good. If I had to make a prediction, that AFC is so deep with every single fucking team. I'd probably go with the Bills too.
Yeah. I'm Bills cover. I would say Josh Allen, they've been hyping him up so much. I think the Rams' only shot is if they shut down Diggs and then hope that Allen makes mistakes, but I don't know. I think the Bills are the real deal this year. Like I said, I think they host the AFC Championship. I still think the Chiefs win, but I think the Bills are legit. And if they're not, well, it's better for my Chiefs. So until I see it, though, I think the Bills are going to cover on that one. But
yeah, that's going to be my first official bet is the Bills covering.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think LA is a real home field advantage. I just don't.
No. I think I've even seen videos of them pumping sound into the stadium. It's brand new and no one goes there.
LA is just it's not a passionate city for sports. Maybe the Dodgers. I'll say maybe the Dodgers and probably Lakers basketball.
Mm-hmm.
But for football, it's just not I don't think it's a passionate city.
No, UCLA had record low attendance you play in the Rose Bowl. Like I don't care if you're playing. They played Bowling Green. Who gives a shit? It's week 1 of college football, and if you haven't been ready for months, hyped up, ready to play, I mean that's their excuse. Oh well, we got the beach here. Well, you have a football team here too. You have more football teams there than most states. So,
I remember last year LSU opened up against UCLA. There are more LSU fans there.
Mm-hmm. No, it's. Yeah, I agree. LA's fake sports town, or sorry, fake football town.
Yeah, they'll sell out every game. They've got the population, but it's not. It's going to be more corporate than anything, is what it's going to be.
Yeah, no, I agree. Saints 5.5-point favorite. They got Jameis back, don't they?
Yes, sure do.
They got Jameis. They got the Honey Badger. Who the hell is? They got. Did they figure out the suspension on Alvin Kamara?
I
It
didn't
sounds
know
like they're not going to be touching it this year. Yeah.
This year?
Yeah, it sounds like from everything I've heard, it sounds like probably next year is when they'll really dig deep into it. But I imagine with all the Deshaun Watson stuff, they didn't want to get into it right away. So yeah, Kamara should be playing
Yeah.
right.
right around.
Well, I guess we did have that with Clark last year. He had all that issues in the preseason, and they just kind of pushed it out into the offseason. So,
Yeah.
Right.
no. So then I guess the Saints have that as well. I guess, Joey, are you having any confidence in the Falcons, or are you putting your money on the Saints?
Well, you brought up, teams pumping sound into their brand new stadium. I mean, the Falcons have had that already. So I don't have confidence in the Falcons. I don't think that they have a good enough team to compete with most of the NFC. The Saints, with Jameis, they're coming off of a not great year. We'll see how. I'll put it this way: the game's going to go how the Saints go. If they look like shit, I think the Falcons can win the game. If the Saints look really good, I think they blow up Falcons. So, those are my thoughts.
Any confidence
know.
in Mariota?
I don't. As we mentioned before, I think he's good enough to win us 5 or 6 games and keep us out of that number 1 spot for the draft, which really sucks. But Ritter, I shit you not, looks really good. He looked really good in the preseason. I don't know. I don't think he's the quarterback of the future. I don't think they have that quarterback of the future on the depth chart. But if he could, I don't know, piece together something good for the next couple of years, keep progressing with Kyle Pitts, maybe get a couple more weapons for him. Who knows? That division is wide open after the Buccaneers. Baker Mayfield was probably the second best quarterback in that division, and he wasn't even in the top 32 quarterbacks last year. So we'll see how that goes. But I will also be in Atlanta tomorrow night, driving through on my way to Savannah. So if I get any new information as I'm driving, I'll let you know. A little bit insider.
All that insider information just driving through Atlanta, huh?
Exactly.
Nice.
I got a feeling Jameis Winston's going to be riding high after watching his old alma mater, the Seminoles, lay waste to the Tigers down there in the Superdome. So he's going to be feeling it. Going to be slinging the rock.
He's going to be
eating them W's.
Eating them W's. You got to do God, what a terrible celebration that was. It was just so awkward to watch, too. You remember that? Like, it was to pump everyone up, and everyone's going, what in the fuck is this guy talking about? Eating a W there.
The dude is a weird cat. Like, he's just a weirdo. I don't get it.
Oh,
gotta love him.
Remember, he got suspended a game because other kids made a big deal of it, but because he just was in the middle of their memorial union and he yelled the fucker right in the pussy. And I just says he does.
I forgot about that
all the time.
I remember the crab legs, but
it was him. Legs. Okay, for some reason I was in my brain. It was either him or Cam. What did Cam? Oh, he sold computers in Florida. That's right.
Laptop. Yeah.
Yep.
But Jameis was also that game that he was suspended. Remember, he suited up and was warming up, just hoping that Jimbo Fisher at the time forgot that he was suspended. And I've never seen a more disappointed look in a coach directly to the kid's face. He's like, go change, and he turns around and it was just like the biggest eye roll. Like, I have to babysit this child here, basically. So I don't know.
Maybe he was like. Maybe he thought he was Patrick Mahomes. They were going to do a Len Dawson tribute, and then he came off the field. And
yeah. It was only for one play, right? right, Coach? Idiot. So we'll keep moving along here. Chiefs 4-point favorites at Cardinals. Clark, what do you think?
Chiefs gonna win, baby.
By how much?
Probably about $1 million.
Oh,
I like your in-depth analysis, Clark.
What more is there to say? Patrick Mahomes, touchdowns.
Yeah.
Travis Kelce. Woo!
But you're also getting Kyler Murray before COD comes out.
That's the big thing
He's
there.
gonna be at his best. That old Call of Duty. He just doesn't carry the interest, so he's got to find something else to keep him entertained, like football. So
When's the
Right.
PlayStation beta comes out in like 10 days or something? That's
Yeah.
so it's week 1. You guys caught him at the worst time because once that
Yeah.
beta comes out.
He's trying to, make everybody prove them right about giving them money, something stupid like that. So
Did you guys ever see Kyler Murray had the gaming headset on the sideline?
What?
So when he was calling plays, I'm pulling up an image
Oh.
right now. When he was calling plays, he was using his gaming headset that he uses when he's playing when he's like streaming and stuff.
Oh
Got
my
some
God,
Turtle
we should've
Beaches
had
or what?
What's that?
Does he have some Turtle Beaches going or what?
No, they're it's like the $200 super fucking nice ones, but yeah, it was I'm waiting for it to load right now, but he was
Does he have a controller in his hand? Because that'd been awesome if he was just like so into it, thinking he was playing a game of Madden, just picking the plays. I'm
that's what he
waiting
was
for it
using
happen.
to pick his plays, calls plays.
Exactly.
The controller.
That's what they should do is put him like in the injury tent with a monitor hooked up to like a simulated Madden, which is a simulation of actual football. So he could pick plays and that just goes to the backup quarterback or whatever. Jesus Christ. Yeah.
Guys, let's try 4 verticals. Well, that didn't
Yeah.
work. Let's try 4 verticals again.
Do it again.
Well, what does he play? They say in Remember the Titans, we're going to run it until it's perfect. That's what he's just going to be doing. Just 4 verts, and then he's going to do a clown slant or whatever the hell else the generic plays are called. So, but yeah,
Rip 52 trap.
52 trap.
Who's who are his wide receivers now that Hopkins is out? What, 6 games?
Fucking he's got
Kirk's gone.
Hopkins.
AJ Green's one.
Okay.
Yep. Is he still, or I know
Yeah.
he's been in the league for a while. I wasn't sure if he was still on.
Yeah, he got
I don't know, we
traded
didn't do
during the draft night.
We didn't do a fantasy league, so I didn't check any rosters this year.
He's got Hollywood Brown.
So jaded over there. Joey is just so jaded.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna
Oh yeah, he
pull it
does
up
have
right
Hollywood
now.
Brown. And then
AJ
AJ Green, Rondale Moore.
Yep. Marquise Brown. Oh, yeah, Hollywood Brown. You just said that. I don't really know the other 3. So, who did Rondale Moore play for before? Was that the
Purdue.
Bucks?
Purdue.
Well, actually, that is where I remember him. Couldn't even remember. Yeah. Is he a rookie this year?
Nope, second year.
Maybe he's just injured. I don't remember him last year at all. But I mean, looking at this offense, I don't know. They don't really got a great tight end. They got Zach Ertz, who's surprised he's questionable and might not play because he's injured again. I mean, they got a decent I think, I don't know. Looking at this offense, nothing really scares me about them. I mean, I think the biggest thing we're going to have to worry about is Kyler scrambling. But if we can get that under control, then, I think it takes care of itself. I mean, J.J. Watt's kind of a shell of himself. He's still going to have his moments, but that defense doesn't really worry me too much. I think the Chiefs
Defensive improvements are going to help contain those scrambling quarterbacks. They added Justin Reed. He's a heavy-hitting, large safety. He's going to get that done there. They added some linebackers with some quickness. I think Gay is one of the freaking quickest linebackers out there. Dude's phenomenal. Bolton, he's back. He's a second year. So, and then they added Leo Chanel, and I think Karlaftis is pretty speedy off the end. So, I think they got the weapons to keep up with Kyler. So it's just a matter of not letting them. I mean, he's a slipper little bastard. So
yeah, he does. We will always make fun of him. He looks like a toddler running, but he's fast as shit. So
yeah.
we can contain him. I think we'll be fine. But yeah, I think we have the speed on defense to at least compete now. But
here's the big one for me. The total over under is 53.5. That is a lot of points for week 1.
Yeah. I think that, let me see here. I think that is the highest right now. Yeah, Chiefs are 53.5. Then I would say the
Bills and Rams 52.5.
Yep, and then Raiders, Chargers is 52. So we got a few high scoring games, and lo and behold, two of them involve 3 of the AFC West teams. So I think it's just going to be offense in that fucking league all year. So
yeah.
Well, and then the final one, Packers 1.5 point favorites on the road at Vikings. Ryan, you're the expert. How much are the Vikings going to win by?
10.
10?
10. Go 10. I don't know. I guess, it was the same way with LSU having a lot of hope here right away. They could just completely fall on their face. But just, did you guys see the report about this week on the Vikings again about just how toxic it was with Mike Zimmer? Yeah, there's another article that came out this week, and even Terrence Newman, who he played cornerback till he was like 50 with the Vikings, even he came out and said some stuff, and he was like Zim's best favorite player he's ever had. So there were some things that it was just bad, really bad. One of the offensive assistants was calling Zim Satan throughout the last few years. So yeah, that's where we were. The culture just seems to be way better in Minnesota. The players just seem to be way happier. I think there was a stat that they were almost every game, with 2 minutes left in each half, we would have been 15-2 if we didn't let other teams score with 2 minutes left. Sounds like the defense is really confusing people. Our offense got nothing. We got better. I mean, we definitely didn't get worse. We definitely got better, in my opinion. So I just think we're gonna have an awesome this year. Green Bay doesn't know what to expect with us. We saw what Green Bay system is last year. They didn't have any staff changes besides Nathaniel Hackett, but I assume LaFleur is going to be the one doing everything. So yeah, I think win by 10. I saw Lazard is questionable too.
Yikes. Well, that's what I was going to actually get to with Lazard being their top receiver. I mean, how are your corners? Because if you got I don't keep up with the Vikings at all, but I mean, if you got anything above average, you just have to cover him, and I can't even think of their second target at that point.
Samuel Watkins.
Yeah, Randall
Cobb.
Mm-hmm.
So we have Patrick Peterson as our number one, who if he can be a shell of his former self, you're going to have a top corner. Number 2 is interesting. It's kind of a mixture between Cam Dantzler. I can't remember what the rookie's name is at the moment, but Cam Dantzler was a interesting person. He's in his 3rd season. He was drafted by Zim in like the 5th round, and he came up really quick, just really improved. For some reason, he was one of those players Zim just absolutely hated. When he was a rookie, he was the top-rated rookie cornerback in the NFL. Like it wasn't even close. Then last year was the second year. He was non-vaxxed, which Zim hated anybody that was non-vaxxed. So he was already on Zim's shit list there. Mm-hmm. And then I don't know why Zim hated him so much, but he gave who was the guy that used to be Kansas City too? He was in Kansas City before we got him. He was the worst cornerback in the whole league, played the whole season, and Cam didn't see any time until the second half. And then when he started seeing time, he was a top-rated cornerback in the league. So I think Cam Dantzler as second will be pretty legit. I think we'll be fine. The big thing is now we have a couple edge rushers that are going to be able to put pressure on, and our corners hopefully won't have to have that much, pressure on them. So I'm trying to think who that cornerback was.
It's not. I'm drawing a blank thinking of it, but I would say I was just kind of going through the depth charts on both. I mean, yeah, Allen is questionable right now. You have
Bashaud Breeland.
Oh, Breeland, yeah.
I say it wasn't Marcus Peters, so
no.
Yeah, no. He's with Rams still, isn't he? Or is he with the Ravens? No, he got traded to the Rams last year. My bad.
But we still have Harrison Smith at safety, he's always gonna be a top 10 safety. Lewis Cine, who we got out of, was he Auburn, I believe we got him from, or Georgia? I can't remember where we got him, but he's a rookie. He's amazing, and we had a rookie last year too at safety that was just absolutely phenomenal. So I think we're gonna be fine. I really do. We're not playing 90s football anymore. I think we have a legit team this year.
Yeah, I would say, I know Rodgers is accurate, but you got the Lazard questionable, Watkins that's older, Randall Cobb that's old as shit. I mean, if you can stop Rodgers from making those types of weapons relevant, you're going to be just fine, I think.
The only thing I'm worried about is none of these starters played during the preseason at all. Now, it sounds like when they had the joint practice with the 49ers, they just absolutely dominated. But still, they don't have any actual live play time, in games. So, well, we'll see. I feel pretty confident that they'll be fine, though.
Now, was it Jimmy G playing or was it Brock Purdy? Because if it's Jimmy G, that makes sense. But Brock
Trey Lance.
Trey Lance, I was 0 for 2 on them. Yeah, Trey Lance. Yeah, that'll be fine. Joey, you have a problem with that one?
That is the hottest take I've ever heard. I tell you what.
My Iowa State migraine's already setting in.
Yeah. It's only Monday, my friend. We'll wait till the end of the week.
So how soon after Trey Lance, if he starts sucking, who knows? He might be amazing. But, you have a couple interceptions or something. How soon do the Jimmy G chants start coming out?
Wait, is Trey the starter for week 1?
Yeah. Yeah, Jimmy G is the backup.
I
think
they
depends.
give him a. Go ahead, Joy.
All right. For me, it depends on if the mistakes are because of him. If he's the reason they suck on offense, then they come out soon, because Jimmy G is nothing if not efficient and can move the ball. Whether they can win the game or not with Jimmy G, that's a different game. But if it's because of the receivers and stuff, I think they just stick with Trey Lance, to be honest with you. If for some reason George Kittle just decides to be an Iowa State tight end and drop balls and not be very good, then yeah, that happens. And then they keep Lance in. So, yeah.
Yeah, they've said that it's Trey's team. Jimmy's backup. That's what he's there for. So
yeah, we'll just make sure. I would say, remember, right behind Clark there, we have the chart for the best tight end in the league, and then a tight end that's injured a lot of the time, and we focus on some blocks that he makes occasionally.
And then sets a single game record for receiving yards.
Did you get Irv up there, Clark? Is that what the third is?
No, I haven't messed with it.
I saw there was a third. I didn't know.
He's got to play a game before I give him room on the board, So
I get it.
At least one more week.
That's right.
He's looking to start this week, so he might only play a quarter, but he's looking to start this week.
This is just the age-old argument, and I'm just going to leave it on display for every single week.
You know what we could have done? We could have had an actual fantasy league, and I could have drafted Kittle. One of you guys could have drafted Kelsey. Then we could have went head-to-head, and it would have been so much fun.
I got to leave it on display for all the viewers right here, Joey. Right here.
I'm never going to leave that alone until we have our own fantasy league.
Never. Yeah.
Let's start it right now. Get it going, Joey. Come on.
I'm on ESPN. Do not fuck with me. Do you want to?
It's a fantasy league with just Ryan and Joey. Go.
Yeah. All right. I'll be right back. I'm going to turn my camera off. I'll be back in a second.
One more thing that I was going to bring attention to, and this is a big thing in our area since it's close to, Denver area. Russell Wilson playing against his former team.
I was looking at that. That one was, I think that's the Monday night game. Denver is 6-point favorites versus Seattle. That is just a sneak preview for, I would say, Wednesday. We are going to bring it up, but the road to 272, kind of our project for betting, we're going to be recording Wednesday. I don't know when we're going to release it, but that was one.
I'll try to get it all done that night to be released Thursday.
Nice. I would say that was one of my picks that I already wrote down. Denver -6.
It seems really low, doesn't it?
Yeah. So that one, I feel like, there's a couple of revenge games. You got Denver that's at Seattle, only 6-point favorites, and then you've got Cleveland at Carolina for a Baker revenge game there, week 1.
Yeah, I was surprised when I saw 6.5, but either way, 6.5. Like, that's just stupid low to me. They don't even really. Seattle doesn't really have a quarterback. They really don't. They have a second string. They have a backup as their starter, whoever they go with, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Do they have much for defense? I don't really know much for defense. I think they lost most of their defensive players.
I would say honestly, the biggest thing I know from him is just because everyone makes fun of it. Is just it is those two quarterbacks. Really, I don't even. No offense, you don't unless you have the Legion of Boom again. You really don't need to, know how good that defense is because you're right now the starter is Geno Smith. I mean, he hasn't been relevant since he was doing touch passes to Tavon Austin at West Virginia. Drew Lock, I honestly, I was never really even a big fan when he was drafted in the first round. But let's see, they got Rashad Penny, a wide receiver. Oh, they got a couple solid, Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf. So
yeah, they got great receivers.
Other than their tight end, but
they just don't have anyone to throw to the receivers.
Yeah, I mean, Jamal Adams at safety. There's not really. There's no one that's sticking out to me as and I feel like I watch a decent amount of NFL. There's no one sticking out like, oh yeah, that's where he ended up. Like Jamal Adams is about the only one that I recognize right now. Puna Ford.
And that's only because he threw a fit to get out of New York. That wasn't because he is a good player. Don't get me wrong, but it's not because like Darrelle Revis. Like if he would have tried to leave or whatnot, you knew who Darrelle Revis was. Like Jamal Adams was just Jamal Adams.
Yeah, I think that's probably more why, because it was such a big stink last year about how I need you out of the Jets and all that other shit. So, so yeah,
Broncos by at least 2 touchdowns in my opinion.
Well, it's interesting that it's 6. I think Denver at least. I'm probably leaning towards a touchdown, 10 points, 2 touchdowns. I mean, and again, you have Mr. Unlimited, I guess. You got Danger Russ, but. I don't know. I guess that's that's the team. I don't have any confidence in them. So,
they've got decent receivers. They got pretty good starting running back too.
Mm-hmm. The only other really great game that I saw, it's a bunch of nothing. Otherwise, in my opinion, was Raiders are 3.5-point underdogs at the Chargers with Herbert and Carr going head to head again. Again, another one of those 52 over under. That's pretty it's pretty high amount of points there. I think the Chargers just take over. I really like that Herbert as much as I hate it because he's with the Chargers, but I think he's legit. Raiders are pretenders right now. They do have a solid above average quarterback, but how far is that going to take you? I mean, you
don't think Devontae is going to elevate Carr's game?
I think everyone focuses on him. I mean, they do have Hunter Renfrow. They got.
Still got Waller.
Receivers. Yeah, still have Waller. Who's there? Do you know who your starting running back is off the top of your head?
Is it?
I think they're going running back by committee because they have the coach out of New England. Like they were kind of shitting on old Josh Jacobs during preseason. Like they had him playing the whole game, and that's mainly because they're kind of leaning towards running back by committee, New England style.
I was going to say Darren McFadden. I even fucked with the joke. Forget it. That was stupid.
DeMarco Murray.
Yeah.
Pig Suey with DeMarco Murray. Jesus. Or
Darren
McFadden.
It seems like the Derek Carr hype this year is just astronomical too.
I think it's just a hype up of we're talking about this division so much, and Carr happens to be above average, so they just have to lump him in there. Oh, look at how great this is! You got Mahomes, you have
you got the new receiver who's been running his mouth a little bit, saying, "Hey, he's a Hall of Fame quarterback." It's like, really, Devontae? Like,
I like Carr. I think Carr is very talented, but the hype this year. Hopefully it proves me wrong. I'm very excited for this division. This division is going to be so fun to watch. So I hope all of them play at an equal level. No one's going to play as good as Mahomes except for maybe Herbert. But, as long as they're all at a high level, which we know Russell can do, we know Herbert can do, Mahomes obviously. So maybe if Carr can do that, this is going to be an awesome division.
Which Russ, he just signed that 7-year contract or 7-year extension for $165 million guaranteed. I mean, these guys are going to be in this division for a long fucking time. So
that dude's been hit so long to think he can play to 40. I mean, he's in awesome shape. I if he keeps his body taken care of, I think he can. But I don't know. He got hit way too much in Seattle.
Does the thin air help when you get hit super hard? Does it make it landing any lighter, or
It makes the golf ball go further.
I think that just means he's going to fly farther when he gets demolished. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I would say I won't disrespect him too much because again, he's got a ring as well. He's gotten it done. So
Yeah.
I just always worry if you're going to pay a guy that size, and he hasn't been injured yet, but he's also getting older. And the only person we've ever seen that has made it that long of a career without major injury, other than 1 year, was Brady with that year. Who was that safety for the Chiefs that just pulled? Was that Pollard? Do you remember that? It was the week one where one of the Chiefs safeties just took him out at the knee basically, and then karma came back where Matt Castle played decent and they paid him money and he did fucking nothing. So
Yep.
but yeah, I would say I don't know that one until I see something from the Raiders that isn't them raidering. I mean, I think you go Chargers on that one pretty easy covering, but yeah, I guess you know
Did Tom Brady take those 10 days off because of plastic surgery?
it kind of looked like it. And say his face is very stiff, like it almost looked Botoxy, but
Looks so skinny, so thin too.
mhm.
Very unhealthy.
Yeah, I would say that. Did you guys hear the rumor of what everyone thought it was?
Masked Singer. Yeah.
Yeah, the Masked Singer. I hope that is true. I hope everyone is expecting it. Everyone keeps guessing Tom Brady, and he dresses up like a fucking furry yiffin out there, and then they pull the mask off, and it's Tom Brady with his Botox cheeks. I just want that so badly. But I would say kind of enough with week one. I mean, do we have any? We kind of brought up season predictions at all? Anything? We kind of did MVP last week. We kind of did our picks as well. I mean, what I guess Ryan, we'll start with you since we got a couple repeats with me and Clark. What's your season prediction for the Vikings?
I'm looking at their schedule right now. So.
Mm-hmm. So I mean, because you put in a bet. You think they're going to win the North, didn't you?
Yes. No, Trent, I think they're going to win the Super Bowl.
Oh, Super Bowl! Oh shit! Okay.
With the wink.
Well, I guess that you have. I guess you can win the Super Bowl without winning the North.
I'm going to say 13 or 14 wins.
13 or 14 wins.
So we have one of the easiest schedules in the NFL this year.
Mm-hmm.
Like top 10 easiest schedules. And I'm looking at it. I think we're going to win week one against the Packers. Eagles, I just don't think the Eagles are that great. I think we'll beat the Eagles.
Mm-hmm.
Lions will beat. Saints will beat. Bears might be the worst team in the NFL. Dolphins, I think we can beat. Cardinals, we should have beat them last year if it weren't for a missed field goal last second.
Mm-hmm.
Commanders might be one of the worst too. Their defense is going to be good this year, but I think we'll beat the Commanders. Bills will probably lose to them. Cowboys, I think we can beat. Patriots, I think. Jets, again, terrible team. Lions. Colts, we might lose to. Packers, we might lose to at away. So that's three games right there I think we'll probably lose.
Mm-hmm.
Add a couple more fluke ones that we lose. I truly believe we can win 12, 13, maybe 14 games.
Looking at them, I would say I think Cowboys at home and then at Dolphins is going to be your probably most difficult ones. I mean, other than the Packers in house,
The Bills.
Yeah, and Bills. I mean, those ones, no offense, I think are just straight up losses.
Yeah, I don't see how he can beat the Bills. I don't.
Yeah, I would say I mean those are going to be your challenge ones. I would say, and then as you, no offense, as you know, as a Vikings fan, you're going to drop one to a team you shouldn't.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But again, new coaching staff. Maybe we won't have those usual flops. Hopefully,
Mm-hmm.
we won't. We won't lay those eggs, but we'll see. Yeah, I think at least 12. I don't. Maybe 13, 14.
Oh, I can tell you, our buddy Parker that's in the chat here, he's agreeing with you as well. He's a huge Vikings fan as well, and I would say, looking at the schedule here, I kind of agree. I would say, I mean, I can definitely see. I mean, if you don't go right now at least 10-7, 11-6, I think that would be a little bit of a disappointing year right now for you. But
Have you seen the Vegas line? I just want to ask. before I say
No.
it.
The other night I put in a bet for 9.5, over 9.5. Is that what Vegas
Okay,
is?
it's dropped to 8.5. Average
Really?
is 8.7. Yeah. So
I'll get
I
some free
think-
money there. I bet the over on that, no problem.
Yeah, I bet over 9.5. I
Yeah,
think they
9
can get
and
10.
So, but I guess let's I would say since Trent's not here, maybe if he throws in the chat what his prediction is, we'll go over it. But Joey Falcon,
Watch.
what's your
We'll come in week 5 and I'll be coming to this pod. Just this sucks, guys.
yeah NFL stupid?
I'm done. You guys continue. I'm just gonna go to my couch.
Mhm.
Oh, Coach Cock being a disappointment if that happens, but I don't know. He's been
Never be disappointed in a cock.
he's been he's been too hyped up this offseason. You've got me going here.
Joey's choking over there.
Yeah.
On cock. Yeah, I was
Joey,
choking on the cock.
Mention cock, all of a sudden start choking. We know, we understand. Joey, what about your Falcons? What's the season goal for you or your prediction?
So I was going through their schedule. I did it twice. The most I came up with was 7. Or it was either 6 or 7. Anyway, I think they split with the Saints. They split with the Panthers. They're going to lose both to the Bucs. That's fine. That's the division. Out of the division, I think they can beat the Seahawks. I'm going to say they're going to beat the Browns on the 2nd of October because I'll be at the game. And then I think
Was
they beat
Deshaun
the Bears
back?
in the.
Deshaun's not
What's
back,
that?
is he?
No,
Deshaun won't be back by then. No.
No. And then I think they beat the Commanders and the Bears, and then we'll see who the Steelers have at quarterback at that point, and if they've actually established one. If they've established a quarterback, I'm going to cap it at 6. If the Steelers don't have a good quarterback, I'll say that they could possibly win that game, even with TJ Watt running around all the fucking place. So, realistically, I would say 5 or 6 wins, and Vegas has them at 4.45. So, I mean, it's right around there. I'd probably still bet an over just because I have faith in my team a little bit, I guess. So, I'd still take that over.
Well, and in the Steelers right now, they got Trubisky for a starter as well.
Mhm.
They named him today, I think. So
Yep.
That one, honestly, I just have a weird feeling that because it's just the Steelers, they're going to make him look like a rock star, and then everyone's going to go, "What the fuck did the Bears do to this kid?" Because I mean,
Right.
he's got some stats that like are up there in the league with wins and accuracy and stuff, but it can never translate with that Bears offense.
Right. Exactly.
It's Nagy, man. Which isn't he on you guys' team now?
Who's that?
Nagy? He's with Chiefs now, isn't he?
Yeah,
thought
he's
so.
back with the Chiefs, I think. Yeah.
Mhm.
So I don't know. Again, when you're, I guess not to keep hyping him up, but I mean, when you're dealing with Mahomes throwing the ball compared to Trubisky, I think you are going to have a bit of a difference in the offense you're going to run. But I wouldn't say it's. You look at the other weapons in the line around him as well. It's more than just one quarterback versus one quarterback.
Yep.
I am
You
so
know what's-
thankful the Bears took Trubisky over Mahomes. I am so thankful for that.
Who knows? Trubisky might have a ring if the Chiefs drafted him with Reed. Mahomes might be onto his 3rd or 4th team at this point if they would have flip flopped.
Mahomes is just a system quarterback. Let's just put facts where it is.
Just like Brady.
Yep,
Yeah.
exactly. Just like Brady.
So is McNabb, another Hall of Fame quarterback under Andy Reid.
Exactly.
And Alex Smith, he's another Hall of Fame quarterback. Fuck it, just Mahomes system.
How is Alex Smith a Hall of Fame quarterback?
I'm just joking because
Motherfucker averaged like 13 wins every single season. Yeah,
He was very
I remember.
consistent.
Yeah, I remember when people before they drafted Mahomes, all of the Chiefs fans bitching about Alex Smith, and I'm like, I will take a quarterback that's going to give us 13 wins every fucking year. Well, not if they make the playoffs. I was like, no, yes, I will. I will take 13 wins a fucking year all day. But yeah, I mean, obviously Mahomes is a very huge talent upgrade over Alex Smith. And yeah, I think that was the right choice to switch. But yeah, that Alex Smith era, like towards the very end when all the Chiefs fans are bitching, just always made me laugh.
He was 2-5 in the playoffs, but he did win he was 99, 67, and 1. So he was always a good regular season quarterback, especially towards the end. It was just he can never in the playoffs. He always shrunk under pressure for some reason. I can never get
So
why.
he's Lamar Jackson that couldn't run.
I guess. I mean, he can also throw the ball. That's
Joey,
kind of a big difference as well.
Barely.
Joey, Chiefs fans would never bitch. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Especially if they're Iowa
Are
State
you
fans.
hold on? Are you saying Lamar Jackson is a better quarterback than Alex Smith was?
I'd say he's going to make more money than Alex Smith. No.
I mean, he has an MVP.
Unanimous.
How many playoff wins does he have?
I think 2.
I'm just
Anyway,
looking it up.
while you're looking it up, let's go to Clark for his Chiefs thoughts while you're looking that up. Not
17-0.
job. I forgot Ollie's here again. Jesus.
I've been waiting for you guys to swing it to me so I could give you my picks, and it's 17-0. Jeez, what more are you?
They're going to win.
They're going to win them all.
Oh man.
I mean, I'm looking at the Chiefs' schedule right now. I mean, we start off pretty fucking brutal. Here's the first.
They got one of the hardest schedules there is. Like, it's gonna be a tough year.
Hold on, I'll just start like the first 7 games here. We got at Cardinals to open the season on 9/11. We got the Chargers at home. We're on the road to the Colts week 3, at Bucks week 4, home for the Raiders, which again we always shit on Carr, but they are at least somewhat competent at least. Bills at home, at 49ers week 7. I mean, that is the most brutal stretch that you could probably start your season off with.
Yep.
Can I give a bold bet right now?
Let's do the bold bet.
Well, okay. I'm sorry. I don't mean to interrupt you guys talking about Chiefs. My bold bet is Cliff Kingsbury is fired 3/4 of the way through the year.
Oh, really?
I like it.
I think he makes it at least through the season out, unless he does something that absolutely fucks his team. Like I mean, he's not on like the hot seat that I would imagine, but like, well, I mean, again, if he's making decisions that are like, as they've already had the leak of the contract for Lamar Jackson. I was just looking at his wiki page for Kyler Murray out there. I mean, if they start having an argument and it's franchise quarterback he just paid however many hundreds of millions of dollars to, or Cliff Kingsbury, I guess I could see that. You know, it just got to be outwardly hostile.
How many seasons have they started 6-1, 7-0, whatever, and then just don't make the playoffs? Shit the bed and don't make the playoffs. It's happened every year he's coached there, basically. So I think this year they're finally just tired of it, and he's gone.
I think they got to make a pretty deep run into the playoffs. I think they just keep them at that point. You know, if we're going to make the playoffs or, whatever, I don't think you bring in a new person and then all of a sudden it's going to change right before the playoffs. But
well, no, but if they're going to miss the playoffs, you may as well give someone in their organization a chance.
Mm-hmm. They'll just have Kyler Murray just lead the team. All right, you're head coach now, bud. We're paying you enough. You can do 2 jobs at once.
You had to call him plays in the preseason. Might as well do it now.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. But yeah, that's my bold strip, my bold bet or bold prediction.
Joey, Lamar Jackson, 37-12 in the regular season, 1-3 in the postseason. So I think.
Yeah. So if you extrapolate that out to Alex Smith's career with 97-ish, we had 99 wins. Yeah, and so that means Lamar will probably get 1 or 2 more playoff wins. So, yeah, I mean, I think they're in the same category. Lamar. What's that?
I said he'll end with 3. I don't know. I don't think you're going to convince Chiefs fans as much as we were okay to get to move on from him at the end. I don't think you're going to convince us about anything bad about Alex Smith and say Lamar just. If you want a running back that can toss the ball occasionally, I guess you can. You can root for him.
And win you an MVP and do the same thing that Alex Smith did in the playoffs. I mean, it is.
Win you an MVP. MVP is a personal award, bud, not a team award.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, when they thank their team, that's a team award.
Yeah. Did he buy all his linemen, super nice watches or Land Rovers or all that stupid shit? Whenever it's a team sport and it's because of you that I'm succeeding, and it just it's just a story trying to make them look good to the media.
I mean, I've never heard anyone complain about being a Lamar teammate. So,
well, I don't know.
Sure.
They trade away his best receiver. I just don't see him.
without his
I don't know.
knowledge,
What's that?
without his knowledge, and then they draft an Iowa lineman, and everyone thinks that he's pissed about the Iowa lineman, and when he puts that tweet out. So, no,
Well, Joey,
I mean, I'm not
the biggest Ravens fan out there.
I mean, that's one thing about when Iowa linemen get drafted. Like, they're all over the place in the NFL. So I can't be a fan of every team unless they go to, like, if Linderbaum would have went to Atlanta, I would have had every color of every
tight ends or linemen.
Either one, both.
Okay,
They're the same
we're just
thing.
talking about blocking because they don't do any receiving.
Just one can
One's
catch
allowed
and the
to
other one
catch.
can't.
Oh, there is.
You should have been a big fan of the Vikings then when Greenway was there.
I really like Chad Greenway, but he was going to be my favorite linebacker on that Iowa team. Abdul Hodge was. But yeah, Chad Greenway was by far the best NFL prospect we've ever had. That's including Robert Gallery.
He's obviously like 8, maybe 10 years older than I, but we grew up about 60 miles away from each other.
Nice.
That's what our towns were. So I remember his brother was closer to my age, and our town always had to play his brother in high school.
And how'd that go?
Yeah, that team was really good. It was like back, I'm from Scotland, so we played we always kind of went against Parkston on some stuff. For me, it was golf, and I had to play against Riley Reef's brother in golf, and he was just pounded it too. And then I was talking to a guy at the golf course the other day here in Sturgis. He's like, "Yeah, when I was in high school, I had to wrestle against Riley Reef." I'm like, "Oh, geez, how'd that go?" It didn't last very long.
I could see that. Fuck yeah.
We done about Iowa linemen, so we can talk Kansas City Chiefs here, or
Sorry.
I mean, do you want to be?
no cripes. So, yeah, I mean, I think the Chiefs are going to not have the. I don't think we go 17-0 like Clark predicts. I think we're a
Little faith.
I think we're a little closer realistic to about 11-6, 12-5, but then the playoffs start, and that's when that's when it starts to come together here. I think we're always going to have the target on our back here, but I think a lot of the teams that really surprised us last year, other than Allen, I think it's going to be, the Bengals. They're not going to come out of nowhere now. Everyone's going to be pushing they're going to have the target on their back. So I don't know. It's just the AFC is so fucking stacked that I mean, I don't even feel bad by saying we go 11-6 with how, I mean, like we said, with those first 7 games, it wouldn't shock me if we were, 4-3, 3-4 in those games, and then really let loose once we hit the Titans, the Jaguars, getting towards the second half of the schedule. But I mean, it's kind of unrelenting. So I wouldn't be super upset with a kind of middle of the road record, just get into the playoffs, and then from there, really work through it. So,
Nice.
any other predictions we got going on here?
Well, if we're doing bold predictions like Ryan just did, I will boldly predict that now that I'm looking at the projected wins for every team, Falcons are tied with the Texans for worst.
Mm-hmm.
I'll boldly predict that the Falcons are the worst team in the league this year with 5
You
wins.
think they're drafting 1-1?
I hope so. I really do.
Maybe you can get this DJ from Clemson. I've been watching him. Their offense slightly better than Iowa's right now. But
I'll take Stetson Bennett from Georgia. He put up a hell of a game.
Good luck, I guess. I don't know. I mean, you'd have a hometown kid. I don't know, but Bennett. I realistically think in that game, just Oregon was overhyped rather than Georgia is who they are.
Right.
Surprised you have the same 4 to 5 teams get all the 5-star recruits and they can just reload rather than rebuild. So
Clemson may not be a top 5 team. This might come as a surprise.
yeah, I don't know. They're struggling right now, but I would say they always. I think last year they they struggled a bit early on versus Georgia. Now last year, I mean, it's first year at this DJ. I mean, I think who was it? Cade Colbrick is their backup 5-star that was really hyped up. So I don't know. I think Clemson will pull through on this one, and then they'll make the change if necessary. I mean, Dabo's there to win. He isn't there to make friends. So I think he'll make the change that's needed to get him through the season. But
pretty sure this is
I mean,
DJ's second year.
yeah, well, he played a little bit his freshman year when Lawrence was injured.
Mhm.
I mean, so yeah, I mean, it's still his second full year, but
Right. Okay.
I don't know, nothing really special on him. But again, your 1 5-star quarterback isn't playing as well. Reload with your second 5-star quarterback.
Right.
You know, first world problems at this point. But Clark, did you have any bold predictions for the season?
Well, I mean, I already said the Chiefs would be 17-0. I mean, that's pretty bold right there, considering.
Yes,
but I actually, Joey kind of took mine. I was going to say the Falcons were going to get #1 draft pick next year. They're going to be the worst team in the NFL.
I appreciate it.
You'll
welcome.
own that one together, huh?
Yeah.
Nice. So, and then we've kind of mentioned it a little bit, just kind of get our point. Again, we're going to record on Wednesday, so probably putting it out on Thursday. Thursday morning, but the road to 272. So we're going to try and do picks for each game, whether it's over-unders, spreads, stuff like that. We're going to try and keep track of that the full year and see where we're, see how we can put our money where our mouth is. I know, Ryan, you said you've already put in your money, or you've got it ready to put in.
I'm still looking at a few of the games, so I've probably got my mind made up on half the games. Now I just need to do a little more research on the other.
Nice.
Are you? Go ahead.
I would say if there's any last minute line changes as well.
Yeah. Any injuries, anything like that.
Don't think on it too hard, Ryan.
I know.
It's just money.
If you ever get to a point where you're like, oh, the Falcons, they got a chance in this game, you've gone too far.
The Falcons is not one of those games I'm worried about.
I feel like Clark is trying to take Kevin's spot on a normal basis and just rile me up. When do you want me to send my check for my money so that you can put my bets in for me? Don't listen to this
whenever.
podcast, by the way.
Whenever. You can just PayPal, Venmo me, whatever.
You know what's fun? Next week you guys won't have to because I will be in Vegas. I can do it myself.
Hell yeah.
You just need to do one of those offshore ones, Joey.
Shh.
Joey, you just need to write your congressman every week until he passes it.
The only problem with doing the offshore ones, and I've done them before, is then like 2 months later, you have like $600 in OnlyFans charges for your Capital One card, and Capital One's calling you, and you're like, fuck, I don't even know what these are.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there's that. That's fun. That's a fun conversation to have, one, while you're at work, and two, while your girlfriend works right next to you. So there's that.
Talk to Bryant. He got in charge of my credit card.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Haven't put out that lie. That definitely wasn't me.
Yep.
They put it under a fake company name, a different.
Why is it all Bigfoot accounts?
Yeah, big feet accounts. They're all ex-college swimmers, is what they are. So. No shit. So we're kind of wrapping up. I mean, anything else football-wise? Otherwise, we'll just kind of do and wrap it up here. But anything else football to talk about? Good?
No, I enjoy that cattail on Joey's shoulder.
Yeah, I was trying to cover up his butthole.
Yeah.
He got in a fight earlier this weekend, so I'm kind of letting him do what he wants. He has a pretty big gash on his rear end that he got in a fight with, so I feel bad for the little guy. And who knows? Maybe he'll get us some views. We can hashtag cats of YouTube in it.
Oh god.
Darty party.
Hashtag pussies, right?
Yep, exactly. Go Bengals. Is what he said.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Are you just trying to piss me off tonight, Joey? My lord.
Just Clark.
He looks like a Lions fan to me.
TJ Hawkinson's the only one. Right, bud? Right.
I bet you Lindenbaum has within 5 touchdowns of Hawkinson this year.
So you think
That'll be
Hawks
my
would have 5 or less?
prediction. Yeah. You never know in the backup center they might throw it to. Hell,
That's right.
might just when he's scrambling and running around because he can't throw, he might fumble it and then Lindenbaum picks it up. So you
Lindenbaum
never
gonna
know.
get one of
Then
them
you're
thick
fucked as Hotchkiss.
sixes.
That's get 6.
Yep.
So, but well, let's quit getting bitter and actually talk about some different fantasy here instead of fantasy football. Fantasy about dragons and elves and everything else, right, guys?
Hell yes.
Ryan Clark, did you guys even watch this, or are you guys just about to hop off?
I'm up to date on both.
No,
Yes.
it's one of those deals where I have so much stuff I have to watch that I want to watch eventually, but just talk, I'll forget what you say by the time I watch it.
Both of them are super new, so nothing too crazy going on right now.
Mhm.
But Clark, I don't know how much. What's that?
Never mind. You go.
Well, I was just say, Clark, I wasn't sure how much you've actually did you get into Game of Thrones or Lord of the Rings at all before this? I know we kind of talked Star Wars and stuff.
Oh yeah, I mean, I watched Lord of the Rings back in the day in theaters when they come out. I've watched them maybe 2 or 3 times since, just on, streaming here at home since then. But Lord of the Rings, whenever you sit down to watch those, you're devoting half a year. Those movies are so long that it's going to take you a while to get through them. So, I've put in the time. I've been there. So I was actually kind of looking forward to this Rings of Power. It's starting off a little slow for me as far as that one goes. Yeah, I don't get, I don't agree with all the hate that's getting as far as the user reviews. I'd read an article where they said that they were concerned that it was getting review bombed. That's where just tons of people come in and just throw in a bad review for some outside reason other than quality of the film. But
that's where a bunch of fucking losers that have nothing better to do with their time have to spew their hate on a show because they don't want Lord of the Rings to go woke. Who fucking, I don't know, man. That review bombing, that's been happening on so many shows lately. It's just like, this is my voice can be heard, and I'm going to give it a 1. Really? A 1? Show's got a...
Yeah.
What are the complaints of Lord of the Rings? Because, I posted what were. It's like critics are 80%, whereas crowd is... Well, Rotten Tomatoes is like 34 or something like that.
It's because there's black people in Lord of the Rings, is what it is.
Is that the reason why?
Yeah.
Same thing that was happening with the House of the Dragon.
Yeah. There were... George R.R. Martin never mentioned their skin was a darker color. It's a show about fucking dragons. It's a show about a ring that... people are...
And they came from Essos, and they were the first generation over here. Anyway, we can dive into that when we go.
That's why, Ryan, right there. That's why. There you go.
Okay.
The point is, they're from the land of Essos. It's the one ring to rule them all, and there's dwarves. This is fantasy land. We don't need to make real world issues in a show about... are we going to complain Gollum's a little too white? We might as well at this point. It's just... That's where it is. Marvel's that's happened the last couple shows because they've had surprise female leads and all of a sudden people aren't liking them. So it's just fucking incel nerds that have nothing better to do with their lives, basically. But let's actually talk about the actual show, though.
Before we move on from that, my favorite one was there are not dwarf ladies in the Lord of the Rings. It's like, you'd be the same dudes that'd be upset if they were showing homoerotic things from the Orville and it's 2 dudes reproducing because one has reproductive organs. You'd be fucking pissed if that's what the Doors were doing. So just shut your fucking mouth and enjoy this and watch it. I'm so over that shit.
Yeah, the show, what's even the budget per episode? Isn't it 20, 25 million? I know at least
$1 billion per season.
1 billion per season?
That's what I thought.
How many episodes? Do we know how many episodes are supposed to be in this Ring of Power?
No idea.
Yeah. Either way, these shows have astronomical budgets. They look very good. You can tell with some of the other shows that have recently come out, and these two, it is literally watching a movie every week, with these shows, with the quality that they are. And it's enjoy it for what it is. You know, I mean,
Mhm.
for me, I guess like for the Ring of Power, I was never really the biggest in the Lord of the Rings, but I wanted to at least give this a shot because again, there's going to be so much production in there. And episode 1 was fairly slow. Amazing first 20 minutes to get you introduced and into the series. I thought with them seeking out Sauron. And then second 40 minutes of the first episode is pretty dry, but again, you got to power through it because they're introducing 10,000 different characters, you know. And then getting into the second episode with the worm that was in the ocean, I guess I'll call it here, and then you know the starting the I guess conflict and bringing the elves and dwarves together. I don't know. I thought that both episodes have been very good, other than a little boring in episode 1, just getting introductions done.
Yep, and that's exactly how I told it to like my brother who was asking how it went, and then basically anyone else. It was just there was so much world building that I already knew from watching Lord of the Rings and stuff. But you have to, just like we do, you have to assume that your audience is brand new every week and kind of show them the backside of everything.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, the budget is $465 million, ballooning to over $1 billion for 5 years. So we're looking at $200 million a season. So,
and probably a standard 8 to 10 episode, so 20 million an episode.
Yep.
So again, enjoy it for what it is. You're not going to get any better special effects. They've been taking their time on this. They cast everyone right. Just let's get more than 2 episodes in before you give it a 1 star. You know,
right?
Yeah. As far as the other side of that coin with House of the Dragon, I think one of the things I wasn't expecting to be happening was their obvious progression in time from episode to episode. That's one thing where I was like, man, this is like really moving along here. And I mean, it makes sense. It makes perfect sense as to why it is. I mean, that's just how slow things moved back then. You're just kind of seeing the pinnacle and the high point of everything that's happened in that time, I guess, played out in each episode as far as the character's emotions and development. But I think it's a good take on the whole system.
Yep. So I know for a fact they want to do 5 seasons of this. I would say I would expect probably around 20 to 40 years per season being lapsed because they want to get to the birth of Daenerys and then also the collapse of the Targaryens totally. So, and that's only 18 or so years before Game of Thrones started. So, yeah, I would expect that kind of timeline. And also there's not a lot going on until they fight within themselves, because I mean, for most of the Targaryen reign, if you read the books and stuff, they are pretty peaceful with each other until someone rebels. And then they go back to peace like throughout the land.
Yeah, I did think it was funny where they were kind of going back and forth with Queen, her best friend, and she was just ignoring. She's like, it doesn't have to be like this. I just wanted her to turn and like, you know, they kind of got the medieval, you know, thou arst, you know, and stuff. I just wanted to be like, you fucked my dad. I don't want to talk.
Exactly.
I just wanted to hear it just said, you know. But I would say I'm gonna be disappointed because it sounds like middle of the season they're going to fast forward like 15 years, and all these actresses and actors that you're kind of loving how they're portraying them right now are going to be completely different actors for the second half. Maybe not Matt Smith who plays Damon.
Yeah. From what I read, yeah, it's going to be the younger one. So like Rhaenyra, she's young. She's supposed to be in like her early teens and stuff like that. She's going to be one who gets changed. The Valerian kids, there's been mention of Rhaenyra's proposal to the son, and he's going to be one of them that changes. And the daughter, whenever she was introduced to the king as a possible new proposal, like I was looking at that, I was like, how the hell are they playing this off with this old dude marrying this kid? Like, it was just like, oh my gosh. And you saw it on his face too on film, so I thought it was funny. But
with all the movements, yeah, and all of a sudden House of the Dragon is just trying to pass off it's okay. She's just it's like what was it? You have to you can't marry this 12-year-old talking about
Yeah.
Lyra. I can't remember her name. It's like you can't marry this 12-year-old. You have to marry your friend's 15-year-old or your daughter's 15-year-old friend.
Right. Yeah, there's a lot of people talking about how the misogyny of this whole everything going on so far and the abuse of women and the threat of power. I'm like, yes, I completely understand. I get that. I see what you're seeing. But remember, that also was the same way in Game of Thrones. And then at the end, it was two very powerful women fighting over the throne. Like, yeah, it's a theme with George R. R. Martin, but it's also a theme in medieval times. Like, I get everyone wants to be woke and shit, but you can't always be that way when the source material is not only there already, but also harkening back to a time when that's how things were. So if you don't like it, don't watch it, type of thing. But yeah, it sucks.
Yeah, I haven't watched any of it, so I don't know what you're referring to. But number one, it's fantasy. Why can't we just enjoy fantasy without people just trying to be logical about stuff, or just again trying to just point stuff out and try to be smart? A lot of people just want to point stuff out to try to be smart, and it's like, just shut up and enjoy this. Come on.
Yeah. I mean, look at the turn that Sansa Stark had when, after being beaten and shit from Ramsay, became this super powerful person in Westeros. Like, everyone loved that and loved the character turn. It's like, get that, unless she kind of goes through these things in fantasy. Obviously no one ever wants that to happen to an actual person, but when you're watching a show and you're looking at progression and story arcs, like, that's kind of cool for her to have to endure all these things and then get to the end point where she's basically the queen of the North, which is cool. So
it's like, for me, watching Barry, like, I'm cheering for Barry. I'm cheering for. I'm not going to do that in real life, but when this show that's completely made up, yeah, I mean, just enjoy it. Don't take it too seriously.
Yep, exactly.
So the only other thing I wanted to touch on, just because I kind of felt it was going to happen, but first off, like when Daemon got that letter, and I know it was more of a pride thing when he beats the shit out of that messenger. First off, I was just like, did he change his mind and not send people? And then of course reads the letter and goes, no, I'm going to send 10 ships to save you. Then the pride starts kicking in, and then Daemon just decides to commit a war crime, surrenders to draw them out, and then just slaughters them. From the character they built, because I've never read any of the books, I mean, that makes complete sense. But I was wondering that whole time, because I had all the archers even locked in on him, ready to go, and you're like, what the hell is going to happen next? And I mean, they've done really good with the battle sequences they've had so far. Even I loved episode 1 when they're jousting, the point of view camera angle. I thought that one was awesome.
Yep.
I have a question in regards to that last battle. Who was the dragon rider?
So that was the Valerian boy, the one that they're talking about marrying Rhaenyra. And the name of that dragon is Sea Smoke. And just for context of that dragon, so he would be about the same age as what Drogon or Dany's dragons were when they died in Game of Thrones. And Daemon's dragon is about 75 years old. So that's how much bigger those dragons from Dany's era could have gotten, because they're basically adolescents and teenagers at that time. So, yeah. Have either one of you read the books or like looked into spoilers or anything?
Nope.
This series of books, no.
Okay, cool. They are very good. Fire and Blood is what this series is based on, and I can not emphasize this enough. It is so much less boring than George R. R. Martin's other books, because he was trying, instead of this one, he's building one family and building how they took over Westeros. The other one, he's like trying to set up Westeros. So if you were interested in getting more information, the behind the scenes of the Targaryens, I would highly suggest the books. But to go to Brian's point, sorry, I had the hiccups. Damon, the character they built so far, is spot on with how the books go. And if they keep going that way, you are going to love. He's going to be a Jaime Lannister for you. He's going to be a very good character and compelling in all kinds of sides. So,
are we going to copy the whole Aaron Rodgers thing and have Joey's book club?
We definitely don't have to. I don't read enough for that. So this is going to change because I didn't have a podcast to do when Game of Thrones was live, and I was spending 40 hours a week on that. But I probably put 27-ish hours into House of the Dragon episode 2 last week. So, yeah.
Oh, with like watching like YouTube videos and shit,
and podcasts and rewatch and yeah.
Oof.
I fucking love these series. I spend a lot of time on this shit.
Mm-hmm. Well, and again, I mean, at least with this one, and they had it towards the end of the other Game of Thrones. They put in so much money. You can see the production in it. It's just, I honestly, the only thing I got to complain, and this is really any show right now, I think I got to fuck with my TV settings because every scene that's at night or dark or whatever, I have to have it be completely pitch black in my apartment, or I can't see shit on there.
Yep.
So I don't know.
Just you watch out. If they wear those black uniforms this weekend, you're gonna be in trouble. With everything so black, you better watch out. If they're wearing black uniforms this weekend for Hate Week, you're gonna be in trouble.
Yeah.
You won't be able to see anything.
Well, you'll have the green. Yeah, I got you. No. I always just think with the Battle of the Bastards where they've like incepted me. The directors, because they made a bad episode saying you fucked up your TV settings, and now every time I'm like, is my TV off? Because I can't see shit in any of these scenes. So I don't know. I just don't fuck with it. I just pause it, turn my lights out, and at least I can somewhat see for the couple minutes here. But no, I'm kind of excited for both these shows. Just something new.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess we'll kind of wrap it up because we're getting close to that 90 minutes, and we got a couple other pods we're going to record this week, so we don't give up too much. But I mean, Joey, you want to hit them with the socials?
Yep. Instagram, Twitter, hit us up at Heartland Pulse. Search us on Facebook. Just search Pulse of the Heartland. As always, if you're watching on YouTube Live, you can always search us there, Pulse of the Heartland as well. Tell your friends, like and subscribe. Let us know how we're doing in the comments if you're watching live. Otherwise, let us know via star ratings and stuff on your podcast platforms.
Yeah. Yeah, and again, we're kind of covering our favorite teams in Focus Heartland. If they're, I know we've had it a couple times in the college football one. If you got some, questions you want to throw our way, or we had some guy asking like week 0 the betting lines of North Texas. I mean, we couldn't. We had to do a little research live and on the spot, but it was kind of fun, just looking up different lines and teams that you wouldn't normally think of. So if you have any questions, NFL or want us to talk about, definitely just throw it in the chat. We've had a few people in this recording. So, but otherwise, just, keep an eye out for Thursday. We should be releasing the Road to 272, see how we're going to be doing on our betting. And then Thursday, we'll do another live recording at 8:30 for college football specifically. So,
yep.
Yeah.
And UFC 279 is this, or 280. Anyway, Nick Diaz versus Khamzat Chimaev is this weekend. Another UFC pay-per-view. I'd like to get one of those pods in. If not, we will cover it on a couple different ones just shortly. So, also be on the lookout for that pod too.
Absolutely. So, but all right, guys. Well, we do appreciate you listening in. And like we said, like, subscribe, and we'll chat with you later.
Thanks, fellas.
Peace out. Go Hawks.